The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on Group Chat are those of the hosts and guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Buffalo Toronto Public Media, its leadership, or its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
We consume celebrity culture every single day. The music, movies, interviews, viral moments on social media. But what happens when the people entertaining us are quietly falling apart behind the scenes in front of the world? This week on Group Chat, we're talking about fame, pressure, burnout, social media, and the mental health struggles hiding behind the spotlight. That's this week's episode of Group Chat.
Music, I can't.
They just do that so we get a little dance break in between. We get ready. Charles is doing it now too. Do you see? I like that music. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm almost there, y'all.
Naila Ansari Katillo also
Yes.
ready. What do we think? Still June 19th?
Yes, I'm still going with June 19th.
Charles
but
on June
but
19th.
I will say, and I did say this. I did say I was going to say this. Shout out to Jack Cruiser, our BTPM Sports lead person. He's chimed in on the bet too. So
Wait, there's a bet?
yes,
Yes.
Like
I've been saying that we need to start
Yeah, a
a
pool.
Naila Baby Watch pool.
yeah.
Yes.
And I'm going with June 19th. I've been saying that June 19th.
Oh, so I have to pick a different date?
Yeah, it's definitely not 4th of July. Even my doctor was
I'm
like,
saying
"That's
June
not happening."
21st.
June 21st?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for
Jack
our
is going with June 23rd.
Ooh, okay.
See, I split the middle.
So
For our listening audience, Naila is with child. At this point, it
It's
seems
like,
like
with toddler, I feel like.
with toddler and due July 4th, but we think it's going to be earlier.
Oh,
right?
yeah. He's been measuring a month ahead, so.
I'm telling you,
We'll see.
because the baby knew not that we not coming out 4th of July. We not doing 4th of July.
We can't
do 4th.
It's too much
we
going
doing
on.
June.
Yep.
No, we're doing Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Yes. Yeah.
Juneteenth.
And our listeners and viewers are very invested in this, so we had to make sure we gave an update because I feel like over the last couple of weeks, that's what we've gotten the most comments on.
My neighbor even was like this all yesterday. It's like, I'm with Charles.
I'm telling you. I just in my pit, in my soul, I feel like that baby's like, yeah, I'm coming out Juneteenth.
I'm ready for Juneteenth, baby.
I was at dinner with a friend and she was talking to me about you, and I was like, "Oh, you know Naila?" She's like, "No, from group chat." And I was like, "How do you know so much about her due date?"
Because we talk about it. We talk
Yeah.
about it on here. But as I always like to do before we go any further, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe right here to this channel. Leave a comment when y'all think Naila's dropping her baby.
Dropping her. Oh, so it's like an album drop.
Yes, album drop.
Yes.
It's already low. We already
Okay.
dropped low. Just dropped out.
I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify. Oh, so we have a great show today because we are responsible group chat hosts. We do talk a lot about celebrities and some of the crazy things
Yes.
they do, but it being Mental Health Awareness Month, we wanted to dive into that a little bit more. So coming up, we're going to have Emily Higgins, who is a licensed mental health counselor. Krista Mannion, who has been on before. We had her on another episode. She was great. Licensed marriage and family therapist at Marriage and Family Therapy of Western New York. And then we'll be joined later by Chef Camille Laclaire, celebrity chef, and also just to give that perspective of a behind the scenes look at that world as well. But before we get into all that, State of the Scroll. Charles, I wore a proper shirt for today.
You did. I don't have anything that fits. But
I don't have it. Wait. I don't have anything that's not black because Charles sent an urgent, serious demand text last night that said, "Can you two please
not
stop wearing black?"
Yeah, we have black behind us.
And our chairs, so
Today.
he said that we blend
There's a
in.
reason because y'all are always in black. We have black couches, black chairs. So sometimes it kind of looks like it's just hands and head. people may see. And because, we are in a different location right now,
Yeah.
the backdrop is black. So,
No, it was smart, but I don't
Yeah.
own
Yeah,
it.
but yeah.
I have like
We
summer
listened.
black.
We followed directions. We did our homework.
but Bentley, you are in orange and blue.
That's right.
Not Mets colors, Knicks colors.
Knicks colors.
Yes,
Because the New York Knicks, for the first time in 27
Let's
years,
go.
are in the NBA Finals.
Get that baby out.
Charles is not happy about
Get that baby out so your baby can see the
I know.
Knicks. And
That's what. Yeah, it's him and Spike Lee.
Well, see, there's a reason why I am dreading the Knicks being in the finals.
oh boy.
And if anybody knows what I'm going to say,
Oh!
yes, it's our
Didn't even
favorite
think of
person
this.
in the whole entire world, Stephen Anthony Smith.
I forgot, but he doesn't count. New York doesn't claim him.
I know.
New York
Listen,
does not claim
I
Stephen
be
A.
in the First Take comments when they post all the stuff with him and the New York stuff, and he's all, go New York, go New York, go. I hate it. But I tell them, Knicks fans don't even acknowledge him
They
as a
don't.
Knicks.
Totally forgot to. You just said something right now.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I'm dreading. I'm dreading just hearing him scream about orange and blue skies and everything's, yeah. But I am happy for the real fans of the Knicks. The energy that I see in New York City is when the Knicks are winning, New York is in a better place.
It is. I can't deny that.
There's
Like,
an energy
everyone's
for
happy.
sure.
It's just like when the Bills win. Everything seems to be happier in the city.
Everybody
know,
joins together.
Yes, people join together, people that you don't think of. They just come together. They're celebrating, they're happy. So I'm happy for Knicks fans because you made it here.
We had to.
That's coming from a Lakers fan too.
Yeah.
Oh, can we
on the
okay,
other side?
So we do have therapists on today later on that are joining us, and I would really like to, if you need any. The thing with Stephen A. Smith and you is such a trigger. I mean, maybe we need to talk about that. You don't see Charles get triggered very often, but
No,
that
Charles is the most laid back human being. But you mentioned
is-
Stephen A.
that's a trigger. So just
There's
Terrible.
a few things that
might want to talk it out.
there's a few things that set me off. Few things. Stephen A is one of them. So last week we were speaking about Drake and
Boo.
the Ice
Why
album.
are we still talking
Iceman
about this
album.
man?
Because it's very ironic and funny that we talked about Drake on last Thursday,
Oh yeah.
and that same day
He showed up in the 716.
he was in Buffalo. Well, he was in 716. I don't know what part. Apparently, he was in like Cheektowaga. Then he was in Niagara Falls. But anyway, he was in Buffalo. He gifted somebody a car because they went viral for his song off of Iceman, Janice, which happened to be the record that broke
Man.
Michael Jackson's Billboard record for number ones, even though now there seems to be this controversy on Twitter because you know how Twitter will kind of fact check stuff?
Yeah.
Apparently on Twitter, there's a fact check that came up that says that technically he has 6 solo by himself number ones. All the other ones is either him featured or has a guest feature. So now it's this big controversy on did he really surpass Michael Jackson for number one billboards?
And arguably, music is just also not as good as it was when Michael Jackson was there. So who's he really competing against? He dropped it with like nobody else coming out.
And how are they counting things? Like,
Well, see, this is my argument because apparently, like, Drake made a post with a sketch of Michael Jackson with braids and said all this stuff about how he surpassed him, right? And I've always said, in my opinion, Drake is like how LeBron is trying to surpass Jordan in being the GOAT.
Yeah.
He's trying to do it on longevity, and he's trying to do it with the numbers. Because anybody with the eye test could tell you there's not a person walking this earth that thinks that Drake is a better artist than Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Michael Jackson stood in the middle of Wembley Stadium for 5 minutes and didn't move and had people passing out.
And
Crying.
think about consumption, because then you bought a Michael Jackson album and you listen to it over and over again. Now you're, more so in his heyday, you're streaming the song over and over again, and you're getting those numbers.
Yeah.
But also, Charles, I would like to note that you all pick. Nyla doesn't pick at me. That I'm always a skeptic, and I'm always like, oh, can we look more into that? Because I did not believe that statistic when I first heard it, and then you dug into it, and what did you find out? But you were invested in that already, so you were already skeptical.
Because is it international standards or is it just the U.S.? Is it just U.S. Billboard or internet? Because I can't
Billboard
believe
Top 100. That's
okay. Because
Billboard
I can't
Top
believe
100.
that he's arguably bigger than Michael Jackson.
No, and that
internationally.
incorporates streams too.
Yeah.
He's not. That's just the thing. But because the younger generation is already deeming him the greatest artist.
Who?
The younger
They don't
generation.
know anything. They also, the
Wait,
reading's
can we-
also questionable. We use all kind of devices because
Yeah.
we can't pull out a book. I mean, I can skip Gen Z's thoughts on that.
Can we just add Drake to the trigger list for our next segment?
Drake is my trigger. Stephen A.
Charles.
is Charles' trigger. Drake is my trigger.
Oh, okay.
Drake is your trigger. Britney could be your trigger
Brittany
too.
is also my trigger. Britney
No,
Spears.
well,
'Cause
Britney
they should
is
have left
there,
her where she was.
but she just has a interesting outlook on it. I don't know.
Given
if
our
that's a
topic today.
trigger.
Given our topic today.
Oh, I know who
She
my
falls.
trigger is.
I'm trying to.
I think. Well, no, is it because of Lewis Hamilton?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes,
your trigger.
Yes.
Kim Kardashian?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only when she started dating Lewis Hamilton. Because of that Kardashian curse.
It is,
stay away from my-
still,
Stay away
I'm
from
just
my
waiting for
F1
that
driver.
to just collapse and fall.
Yeah.
Where's
Yes.
Kanye?
That's why Timothy Chalamet needs to stay away from these games. But as long as nobody starts dating anybody, we're good.
It's the
Listen.
curse.
All right, I think that's a good way to bring those therapists in now, because clearly we are invested in these.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Celebrities.
we're invested in all this, and you know what? We need to.
We need some intervention.
Yes.
So coming up on Group Chat, we'll be joined by Emily Higgins, a licensed mental health therapist, and Krista Mannion, licensed marriage and family therapist. And still here with you, Charles, Naila, and Bentley, next on Group Chat.
At Buffalo Toronto Public Media, we're committed to serving our entire community. Whether you're listening to investigative journalism on BTPM NPR, enjoying world-class performances on BTPM Classical, discovering new local artists on BTPM The Bridge, or immersing yourself in mysteries on BTPM PBS, Public Media has something for everyone. Explore programs that matter to you at btpm.org. This is Public Media.
Welcome back to the chat. We have more people now that have joined the chat with me, Bentley, Naila, and Charles, because we need some other opinions in here. We need some professional opinions in this group chat space. So we have Emily Higgins, who is a licensed mental health counselor.
Thanks for having me.
And Krista Mannion, licensed marriage and family therapist at Marriage and Family Therapy of Western New York. And just briefly, to people that might not know the difference, because they're two, it sounds like different things.
Mm-hmm.
So there are two areas of study, right? Or how do they differ?
I mean, it's partially schooling, training,
Yeah.
preference too as a therapist, and what the clientele and population you want to work with. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were just talking before recording how you prefer individuals, and I prefer a lot of people in the room, families, couples.
Ooh,
so I think
you
that's
do like one of those intervention shows, like the addiction shows.
Yeah, Krista. So Krista should just be a regular on group chat,
Yeah,
maybe.
you should come to in our conversations.
Listen, I love Dr. Drew when he did Celebrity Rehab. Then things kind of went
I
off.
know they're
off
looking like they like he's not real.
No,
I don't know.
I think in the beginning he was. He seemed real.
Or was he like a Dr.
Dr.
Oz,
Phil?
Dr. Phil?
Dr.
Like,
yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Dr.
not
Phil.
that bad. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
That was my show too. I was like, ooh.
Because I felt like they were actually going through the process, but was that Smoke and Mirrors maybe?
I think he really does have like the background and
Yeah.
the ability, but it's just like any reality type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You end up catering to the
Yeah,
audience
the
and
storyline.
camera
Yeah.
storyline. So we often when we go through, especially in State of the Scroll. I mean, today we were very Knicks heavy, but we popped through a bunch of the topics that are happening in pop culture, and I mean, I feel like every week there's some sort of situation with a celebrity, and it has to do with something that may not be diagnosed as mental health, but then something comes out after. So, are we more aware now as a society because of social media and knowing all these things about people to look for those things, or are we playing into? I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I feel like people self-diagnose. Like if I hear like narcissism one time, like more than like 3 times a week from somebody that is just not credible to give any kind of diagnosis. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's like a catch-22. It's like people are bringing it up, and people are more aware of it. But part of it is like, especially with the younger generation, is like, are you just like being lazy and using that as a cop-out? And this is me as like the professor who deals with all of those students all the time. Or are you using it just because like there's more terminology that's put out there, and so then like we're just diagnosing everybody and saying everyone has mental health issues?
I think it's a bit of both. I don't think that social media is like inherently good or bad, but it definitely magnifies. So I think it magnifies the good. I think you can find community and like education and things like that, but I also think it magnifies maybe isolation and comparison and kind of the weaponizing of those words, like you said, like narcissism or triggering or gaslighting, things like that.
Oh yeah, I used triggering quite a bit earlier.
Yeah, we just talked about it
There's a
today.
lot of triggers. Yeah.
But, maybe I shouldn't be using that word in this sense, because people that are actually triggered, it is a mental health situation. So maybe I need to get better about
I know.
that.
Well, I get nervous about that because there's certain people and they use that. It's like, is it triggering or you just don't like them? Or you just don't want to be in the room with them, or you be like I don't know. I just feel like we have lacked a lot of like communication skills because we are on social media more or on our devices, so we don't really communicate as much as we used to maybe with our feelings. But then I don't know. Then I have like friends that come around and they are like, my parents were horrible, human beings, and they were like making them lunches every day. I don't know.
Yeah, and like when we were talking before during the break about Britney Spears, because she keeps coming up in the knives.
Oh yeah, that's my girl, Brittany.
And
I love Brittany.
I feel like I am a Britney defender, probably because I grew up on her, but I also see what happened to her at an early age, so it all sort of makes sense. But then, so you have social media that's just, you see these Instagram videos of her all the time, and you see social media in terms of showing the bad stuff about her. But then it also offers a conversation that we didn't have before, where people can comment and talk about she's having a mental health crisis, or, so it's like in one way, the videos are like, why are we engaging in this? But then it also opens up the conversation. So is that...
And I think it's wonderful that we're having these conversations now, and it's a much more open topic. But I think it's now, what's the follow through? What do you do to change this? What's, what kind of interventions? And, I don't think maybe necessarily the support's always there. I mean, there is, but, to what end, for those types of celebrities or in pop culture.
Do you mean like so support for Britney?
Yeah, like she was under the conservatorship and all that for all that time. But there needs to be what else she was in rehab. Yeah. But I think just that constant spotlight just always kind of magnifies on her what's not going right. And it's hard to kind of probably move past that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
we
think it's
lose the
hard for-
nuance.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think it's hard for families too. Like you're always in the limelight. You don't have that privacy to grieve or to like actually go through difficulty. Like someone's always judging you. So I think that's a difficult thing.
Because then the healing
manage.
process is also in the spotlight. Because healing is not linear. It's not just,
Oh, yeah, 'cause
you
she
go to
still got the
therapy and
knives,
you're
girl.
good. Yeah.
The knives are still there. Yeah.
With the bikini at bottoms.
But Thank you. But Krista, that's interesting about the healing process because she came got out of rehab and then she's right back in the spotlight. So I mean, obviously, Emily, when you were talking about the people and resources, it's like there's always a lot of yes people around celebrities too.
Yeah. I think that's a really hard part when you're a celebrity because when you're in those spaces, I think you're dealing with mental. You don't want people. No one wants to be told no or that they're doing something wrong. Or, I think it takes a certain kind of personality before you go into that world to be able to take criticism.
Absolutely.
Well,
Sure.
Yeah.
So what can we do better as consumers? Sorry.
No, I was going to say.
Sorry,
gonna say,
Charles. We got really into that.
No, someone has chimed in and they have a question, but have a question for Krista.
Okay.
Their question is, what's one thing that couples can do this month to emotionally connect more?
ooh,
Okay.
Wow, that was a kind of out of nowhere situation.
Yeah.
love
well,
is in the air.
I think connection happens in a lot of different ways. Certainly with the weather being so nice, I'm always encouraging couples to go on a walk, right? Like go move your body together, see what conversations spark. I think we're also entering the season in Western New York where there are so many fun things to do. Like that's a form of connection. And sometimes asking the same questions that maybe you've already asked before in your relationship, like where do you most feel like yourself? You might know the answer. You might think you know the answer. You might have already talked about that early on in your relationship, but those answers should change as you continue in your relationship. So it's always nice to go back and see if they have.
Yeah. Well, and I was actually, before that question came, but it aligns a little bit with that is, as we're talking about pop culture and how we view people and how we interact on social media, what are the things that we can do as consumers of pop culture to help with our own mental health, but also not play into the things that might be, making the situation worse? Do we not click on the videos? Do we not engage?
I think that's a hard. I don't know if there's a right or
Yeah.
what the answer. I think that's the problem is nobody knows the answer, right? Especially for pop culture, being present and being known and having the followers is what they want, right? But it doesn't turn off. So I don't know. Do you have
I think it can be really good. Like I get a lot of clients that say they saw stuff online and it really resonates with them, or, oh my God, they heard this person talking on a podcast and they wonder if that fits into their world. And I think that's good. But I think the thing that is different is they're not just ruminating on it and maybe internalizing it. They're having open discussions, especially with a mental health professional, because then we get to say, okay, tell me more about that. Or this is the actual definition of that thing. Does that fit, right? Things like that. So I think just keep having dialogue about it is probably the biggest thing. But also, you know yourself the best. You might know when you start heading into the comparison or doom scrolling, right? So limit it, go touch grass, go call a friend, something like that.
Yeah. The touching grass thing.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's important.
So we're going to bring in another person to the chat in a few. And he's going to talk a little bit, Chef Camille, because he is in the celebrity chef world. And, I think that Anthony Bourdain's book definitely brought some things to light and some things that chefs in the food world deal with. But even as we talk about other famous people like Kanye and I feel like these discussions are happening more than they were. Do you see that these types of books or situations happening are helping just the general population, the non-celebrity world? Is it hurting it?
I think it's helping. I think it normalizes it. I think people they want to see that there's, messy struggles out there for even, the very famous and, people out in the public like that. So I think it normalizes it. But to what cost to that person who's sharing very vulnerable information about their life and what they've gone through. So I think there's like a fine line of how to respect that, but also relate to it.
Yeah. How do you all feel about, because there's like this big thing now with like Mel Robbins and like these folks that are like actually not, educated like you all are in your field, that have these people on their shows and they're doing these podcasts and they're giving all this kind of like mental health, recommendations or these theories. Like, how do you all feel about that? Because I know there's a huge like crew of like therapists and counselors that are like, you all are trash. Please stop doing this because you are messing up people's lives. And like, let them is not going to just get you where you need to go.
I think it's like an oversimplification of it, or then I get people who maybe try to like weaponize it.
Yeah.
So while I think I can agree with some parts of like the let them theory with Mel Robbins, like there's also a deeper conversation to be had. It's not just I get to do what I want, so I'm letting them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So do you
There's
like
so much
how we
drama
have,
on. You gotta go
I
online
know.
with
Well,
the
do you
drama
like
with
how we
Mel.
have these like you can tell they're professional therapists because they're not like playing into our. They're like,
They're not
well,
engaging in our
there are
and our treatments that we're talking about right now. Like they're not as invested.
Yeah,
in
there
it.
are ways you can look at. There's multiple ways you can look at this. It's funny because I actually asked my therapist because she told me about a book I should read, and then I asked her about that book. She's like, why don't you read the other book? She didn't.
Like, why don't you read someone that like I don't know went to school and read?
She didn't say like she didn't talk down on anybody, but she's like, how about you read the book that I suggested?
Yes.
So yeah, that is all of the online stuff around that too. But that's another way that like social media helps you too, because you're like, oh wait, other people are talking about this and it may not be.
It's like the idea, I think, of like fake news. It's like, okay, well, like let's look at your sources here. And I think people they just stop at the initial like fanfare because people have a lot of followers or influencers, or they're like showing this kind of like fake life. Or they might show things that like people can relate to. It's like, oh, I can relate to that. And so then they just like click on it because I think they really get vulnerable people. And it almost becomes like cult-like is what I've noticed in like this wellness world on social media, which is kind of a little scary that you have people that are like kind of blindly following other folks just because they're really vulnerable. It's the same thing with like people using AI because they don't really want to like reach out to a counselor or a therapist.
Yeah, we were talking about that before about, as a therapist, when we have a client come to us and say that they went to ChatGPT, it's like, come to me first.
Well,
and then,
y'all are good at keeping straight faces because I don't know if I would if someone, I'm like, oh, how did that conversation go between yourself?
Well, at least they know that they can come to you, even though you might have to reverse some of the ChatGPT
some of it could be helpful.
therapy. But, and it's also a message to our listeners and viewers that there are wonderful
licensed
therapists
people that
out
went
there,
to school for a
licensed.
very long time.
That have the human experience.
Yes,
Like ChatGPT doesn't have that.
Yeah.
So like you're kind of missing that when you're trying to get support with that vulnerability.
Yeah, and you can't see like cues or anything, when you're not with a person. So, coming up, Charles, we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
I don't know. Sometimes Charles just sits there a little too calm, and I'm like, "What is happening, Charles?" There's me. They're probably like psychoanalyzing us right now.
I know,
Like,
Charles is looking like these two over here.
okay. Coming up will be.
I am not psychoanalyzing anything. I am just sitting here listening in.
I'm just making sure Chef Camille's here because he came here. He's building a house right now. So
Andy just did a marathon.
Andy
Andy puts out fires. See, that's who y'all need to talk to. Where's Chef Camille? We need to Chef Camille coming. 'Cause I don't know how he's doing everything.
yeah, we're gonna bring him on next on Group Chat. Stick around.
Why do so many people turn to Buffalo Toronto Public Media? It's because we bring you more than just TV and radio. We deliver trusted news, inspiring performances, and programs for the whole family. From Nova and Frontline to BTPM NPR's local news and music sessions from BTPM Classical and BTPM The Bridge. Public Media connects you to the stories, music, and moments that matter. Explore more at btpm.org. This is Public Media.
Welcome back to the chat. Bentley, Naila, Charles, all still here. Emily had to go to her job as a therapist. So she's fighting the good fight and has an appointment. Krista decided to still hang around with us. Krista Mannion, licensed marriage and family therapist at Marriage and Family Therapy of Western New York. And we are joined by celebrity chef Camille. Camille, thank you. I got to just say, Camille was like, oh, I want to do this episode so bad, but I'm building a house and bought a house, building a patio. And I was like, Camille, just wear your work clothes.
And run the marathon and taking out fires. See, you're the exhibit. See, y'all can work together. Because I know, how do you deal with it? Yeah. How do you deal with that? Like, that's just so much. First of all, putting out fires is, I can't even, like, literally, like, not fires, like, at work and the way we think about it, like actual fires, and doing a marathon, like a marathon and Ironman you're doing, and like, how do you?
It takes a village. So it's definitely a good coach, nutritionist. Shout out to Stevie, Dante, Atem for my coach, my coordinators, Molly, who's been with me as long as I had the business, 6 years, over 500 different private events, and then a calendar, like whereas like fit to like the square, you have to be like so precise with it that there is room for messing up, but it has to be like really perfect. I was out of the country for like some. Works TV, and then I got back from Toronto on Thursday. Then I had to get ready the prep for dinner for 22 people on Saturday, and then I left the dinners. It was probably like 10:30 p.m. when I got home. And then with the help with my friend Mike, probably like was able to go to bed at 11:30, and then woke up back at 4:30 a.m. to do my first marathon. So it's like, it was definitely, it was spicy. I felt like really humble. I was like, oh my God, how do people like do marathons? Over 21 miles. I was like, oh my God, do not stop, do not stop, do not stop. It was great. It was fantastic. Smile all the way. And I'm getting ready for my, start back right the next day. I had a friend say, like, hey, you want to go on a bike ride? And I did a 30-mile bike ride, and then back at the swimming pool the next day, because guess what? It's like, I'm on to the next race now. It's like next week I'm going to Western Mass Ironman, and then I gotta just like get in the waters at 6 a.m. I'm taking some time there, so I'm gonna be there on Friday. Saturday is orientations, and then Sunday is a race, and I will be back on Monday mornings, back at the firehouse on Tuesday. And I was at the firehouse. Oh yes, I was at the firehouse I was at the firehouse yesterday. It's just it can be a lot of headache. When I explain my schedules, people get worried. They're like, "How do you do it?" Because it's like you're going from concrete to a few things.
Concrete to being on TV. But I followed when we first had you on the show, and I followed you because of your chef endeavors and just being a fan of your food. But I also saw you getting into the marathons and working out and that journey. Did you use that as a mental health or like a therapy to balance you out?
For sure. Definitely. It's like, it's like sometimes we say, like, you need to talk, So I do therapy bi-weekly, sometime weekly, depending on the needs. It's very important.
That's like a marathon too.
Very important. It's I saw my therapist yesterday at 10 a.m. And then CD light counseling, and then I also do therapy with the children. So we have family therapy because it's important for their emotions, and that's things that maybe sometimes we don't hear, and we want them to express their feeling. With the mother of my children, so it's like it kind of just like help co-parenting. And then, runnings becomes, I was having a lot on my mind. And sometimes it's not about talking. It's just on like making times. And talking about making time, people say like, oh my God, you're just going to do more to add more to your weeks. And actually not, it's like, and I say like some personalities like inspire me, such as like Gordon Ramsay. He's huge in the Ironman's world. And then he does a lot of Ironmans. There's a bunch of people. Harry Styles does also like some marathons. People love Harry Styles. A lot of like, personality find their way because it's constant and it's driven by like, it's like zone 2, which is like you don't go crazy fast, but you're just doing it slow for long times. So it's not like a long effort where you're going to just take deadlift and then try to like, break your nerves. It's just going to be something where it's going to be consistent and it's going to be long and repetitive. And that helped me through the snow because I don't like to run on a treadmill. Something about me, I just don't find myself like at peace on a treadmill. So you will see me runs at 9 degrees, outside with snow. I will be running outside. I just love it, and then I think it's like I find it so peaceful being in Delaware Park in the middle of the winters with the snow, and it's something magical. Yeah.
Krista, we were talking about some of the negative things we see in pop culture, but then also you were talking about how there's ways that people are also inspired. So, he also mentioned some celebrities that are doing things like marathons and things like that. Is that something that you find helpful when in therapy to focus people on, or?
Yeah, I don't know if I like specifically spend a lot of time like pointing people out, but I love it when I have clients come in and say, "Oh my God, like I was inspired by this influencer or this person that I follow on social media and they started doing this and it's really helping me." And it also helps me have resources then, right? Like one client might tell me something that really helped them, so I kind of have it in the back of my mind when I see another client who might be struggling with something similar.
Yeah. And, I know besides the success you've had, Camille, we always see these things about behind the scenes in kitchens and, the stress of that. And then also, the reality shows, like I get stressed watching. I mean, obviously Chef Darian just one next level chef, but like I get stressed watching this. I got stressed watching you on the Halloween baking, right? And I know it's all going to be okay, but I'm like, oh my gosh, they have to do this in that time, and they have to
it's that urgency of like but sometimes that can be a good stress. Like you're constantly getting through something. Like it feels good when you're able to accomplish something that you don't think that you're able to. Yeah. But I think when you do it for a long period of time, like I think those like housewife shows and things like that, I think then it can kind of turn those like reality shows on its head and create more stress, and because you're getting more popular, but your business is out there super publicly, and
you're also very one side tracked because Momofuku was saying, it's like one day it's like chefs are mercenary in the kitchens, but they can't barely take care of themselves outside in the real life. Yeah. And that's something very real because we are in the kitchens and then we are so programmed in everyone's going to get there at 7 p.m. Everyone's going to want to get the food at the same time. So we can't get away from the protocol of how it works in the kitchens, and then we just apply it to our real life, which is not possible. And then we're starting to just like see some change, it's like talking about mental health, and you make a lot, you can make some mistake. You can hurt feelings, you can, and you got to evolve, you got to become a better human, you got to be, take accountability and then move forward, it's like towards like goals and that are realistic, and then goals who are not linked to always like your craft. And that is so important because otherwise it's like you just silently, burning out. And people say, oh, you will add more to your life, you're going to burn out. And I think it's more like having a portfolio of activities where you can just like, okay, it's like I can talk about something else than food, and I can have fun with it. Because that's the things too, it's like we talk about going on TV show. We talk about cooking, and it's like, okay, but like what else, is like goes, is like up in your mind. And I love, hiking. I love the Adirondack Mountains. Something that I'm really linked to it, the nature and it's like all the flash, the cameras getting into you, and now you're looking for something peaceful. Is detox and intox. Both are great, but you need both to make it.
I feel like this is an intervention for me because, like we were saying, like when you're Charles is laughing because he knows because he deals with half of it. I'm Bentley Naila here, Chef Camille and therapist Krista Mannion. When you say about talk about honing your craft and always kind of having to be on, and with food and having your own business and restaurant, but also being at such a high level, you don't feel like you can make a mistake.
Yeah, you cannot make a mistake. It's more like your credibility, because now you became, it's like if something doesn't work, and you're worried that it's gonna echo even further down, because there will be also, I don't want to be negative, but there will be also characters that might gonna just come for you, and then it's like they're gonna want to come for you because it's like you have the public image, so you have more to lose than like someone in the dark stuck in a closet, and then and they're gonna come for you, and then just try to make a narrative, and that narrative you got to make sure that you outshine at the best of yourself starting now today. And not dwell on any things. That is very important, because it's a life worth living. We lost someone in the fire department, the captains, and mental health issue between firefighters and police. You see it there. It can be toxic masculinity, and it's hard to talk around the tables. It's like we don't talk about it. We are men. We don't talk, how we feel. And then that saturated emotions, not getting talk at the firehouse or around the tables because we feel like we're men. We bring it up to the house, and then we don't bring it up with to our loved ones in a meaningful way. We just get overboard. So you have to find a way to change that culture, and that's that starts with what can you do to assess and mitigate that? And I think is starting in the workplace, doing it the works, and then not bringing it home. Because I don't know, for you, group chat, you do the radio, but when you talk with the coworkers, it goes a long way when there's empathy, and you're I know we're not in the same chairs. You're there, I'm on the other side, but oh man, all that editing, going, forward. And you hear me talking, all my voices all the time.
You don't know me, Camille.
No.
How do you deal with
I like the show, by the way. New York Sneaks is they're doing great right now.
No, you pretty much just explained me, and we talk about Charles and his little subtle Charles just sitting there. I'm like. The look on his face, he's like, oh, you just explained Bentley.
Chris, how do you deal with those personalities? Because I'm sure you get them, especially family settings, with people that have these high stakes jobs or very type of work or non-traditional work. I think we're all here in very non-traditional pathways. How do you deal with that in a family setting? Because the idea of a traditional family is a social construct that people have to live by that some people don't understand. So there's always that additional judgment of well, you don't have the typical 9 to 5 and we have dinner exactly at this time every single night. How do you manage that with families?
Well, it's a lot of asking what they want, because I'm not there to put my opinions in the mix, right? What works for my family is not going to work for another family. So I want to know what they're wanting. And then sometimes it's just as simple as saying, okay, so what you're doing isn't contributing to that goal that you're wanting, right? But part of it is, you said, kind of breaking down societal norms or expectations. I tell my clients, my goal isn't to turn you into a super sappy, lovey-dovey, emotional person if that's not who you are. You do still need to talk about your emotions, though, because we all have them. And the way I might talk about emotions can be different than the way you might talk about emotions. Let's find language that works for you, so you're not just shoving it down and pretending like it's fine, because it's going to come out somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Do you find that judgment? I feel like people are so judgmental, especially when they don't know what people go through. And you do see it a lot in, with firefighters and police officers. They don't share, because who wants to come home and be I had to save 5 people and I almost lost my life. And if no, who wants to kind of, so what are your suggestions on having people from the other side not, put that judgment on? Because I think that also creates a lot of friction in households.
Yeah. Trying not to internalize your partner's bad mood.
Yes.
And kind of going into, well, what did I do? Right. I think seeking therapy is probably going to help, because that's not just a quick fix. But I know a lot of my couples, we talk about having a check-in once a week where you talk about really what's going on underneath, because we do it all the time. Oh, how are you? Good. How are you? right? We're not actually really speaking about anything of substance. So having like a set time at least once a week where you can maybe dive into, okay, so this is maybe what's really going on, and this is how you can help me. I might need a little bit more space this week. I might need some grace. I might need extra support, whatever that looks like.
And if you are in one of those public-facing positions, whether it's a celebrity, in any capacity, a musician, and maybe you're making music for people that they can identify with, but knowing that once you get bigger, this is something that you said that was interesting, Camille, is that people are going to start to come after you no matter what because you are popular.
Well, yeah, you always gotta say is like some's gonna not like your image and some's gonna like your image. It's not gonna be fully. And for anyone on earth who's been on TV, there will always be two sides. It's just you gotta stick to the own narrative, and then it's like it's you can you get hurt, and then you question yourself if you got to keep on going, on the TV. I was questioning myself after Halloween Baking Championship. Do I want to do, it's like another TV show? And then before I start lining up, like possible other casting, and then I start to get cast again, and they come to me, and then I say yes or no. And then Beat Bobby Flay came up, and I was going through the Fire Academy, so I ended up like not going to Beat Bobby Flay. But I was like, okay, it's like, do I need that mentally? It's like, because it's a way, it's like the Halloween Baking Championship. They were Reddit made on the show, and then it was detrimental to the winners, Melanie, and she had death threat sent to it went like beyond a cooking show on her Instagram. So I had to just put like a message on social media. But there are monsters and those platforms like Reddit, whereas like ton of negativity got created. Those platforms were like at first is like just like a platform that it was made for the helps on topic on the house and more and such, but it's like it became like just like lynch, and then instead of going to therapy, I'm gonna just like go with my keyboard and then just get really hardcore on like people that I don't know. That you don't also like understand that there is that narrative that the production can sometimes build. It's not wrong for the production teams because they have to build a narrative with what they have, and it's TV. But you have to take it as TV. It's like it's entertainment, and sometimes people are getting too far one ways, and that's you have to separate yourself from it. And it's your business, it's your livelihood. So if you work for someone, you work for someone. But when you have your business line up behind, now I'm thinking about my children's. And then my children's, is like, it's my house, it's the city of Buffalo where I'm living, it's the Buffalo Fire Department now if I go on a TV show. So since Halloween Baking Championships, I'm not only represent myself, so it's a lot of people representing. So it's like there's a lot down, it's like in the scales. You can be like, as publicly as like, it's like seeing of like the cancel culture, whereas like, it's like you gotta be not anymore a Buffalo Fire because X, Y happen on the show, and you gotta be really like it's like mindful all the time on like what you're gonna say, and then being censored, and then slowly it's like I take it back, and then I was like, okay, it's like I'm gonna moderate myself, but I'm also gonna be myself. And that goes with like taking times away from my responsibilities, it's like for the kitchens, and then taking a step away. That is so important because I can go back fresh and say, okay, it's like I did something else. That mindset is there is highs and lows. It's a roller coaster of emotions, and it's draining. Like 8 days at a TV show, start at 6 a.m. You get call times, then you're gonna be back probably at the hotel by 10:30 p.m. sometime later. There is long interview. Sometimes you redo the scene. They say the joke one time and they redo the joke a second time to make sure that it's like they get the right tape. So you get a fake laugh. You gotta keep your smile. It is insane. It's not normal. It's a circus, and it's acting. And you do cook for real. You do the baking, but it's acting. And you were not born an actor. I didn't went to school for acting. I went for culinary school. So you're learning on that. And I definitely made some false step. Like 2020, Guys Go 3 Games, definitely got a big head. And I take accountability for that. It's like cutting off of like Guys Go 3 Games. I won Guys Go 3 Games in 2020. And I definitely during COVID-19, it's like we're going through my divorce. And it's like I made so many mistakes. And moving forward, I was like, okay, it's like I want to be the best of myself for that. And it's like I never been like, a heavily drinkers, but like it's been 9 months, drinks are not around me. I just like feel like, you know, it's like I clean up around the house, and that goes with you know, a long way for like emotion. You know, it's not just doing therapy. It's processing your emotions, whatever is going to affect, you know, it's like your day, the amount of sleep that you get. If you intoxicate yourself, you know, with alcohol, you say something wrong to the family at Christmas time.
That's like, I mean, we're proud of you. I'm proud of you. And it's inspirational. And, you know, to piggyback on what Naila was saying before, you know, before we wrap up and we want to leave, you know, thank you for being so open, Camille, and so vulnerable, because I think that goes a long way with maybe other people that are listening or watching, because, you know, they may see you of what they see you on TV and social media. And I think being able to identify with somebody is very helpful. But to piggyback on what Naila was saying about, you know, non-traditional families and non-traditional roles, your body doesn't know when you go home that you're not at work anymore, right? Like your body doesn't know that you have just stepped into this one space 5 minutes later and now you're supposed to turn it off. So do you have any suggestions as your professional licensed marriage and family therapist, Krista, on how to do that?
Yeah, it's really hard. I think I personally love like a lot of visualization techniques, right? Like on your way home, visualize, okay, like I'm keeping all the stressors at work, and as I'm driving further to my home, like it's kind of melting off of me. I had a professor in grad school who like would pull the negative energy off of her, and I remember thinking like, that's so dumb. I'm never going to do that. But it's really helpful, right? Yeah. So any type of visualization where you are able to kind of compartmentalize, put that in a box, it'll be waiting for you when you come back to work and enter into family life. And if you find it really difficult to do that, it may be worth asking yourself why. What feels difficult about putting it down? What fears do I have about setting that down? Things like that.
Wow. So I think we should have like a monthly mental health check-in, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month. May as we're wrapping it up, but I feel like this is a theme in a lot of the things that we talk about in pop culture. So I really appreciate you being here, Krista, because I know you have work and patience. So I appreciate people being able to hear your perspective, and of course Camille for sharing your story, because I do think that we need constant reminders. You know, it might have been a month or so or a year before maybe you checked in on your emotions and your habits. So this is a recheck for everybody watching and listening today.
Yeah, I was going to just add, like, for the one tool that I use and then I've been using since October, transcendental meditations. For everyone who's listening, it's like, I'm going to say it again, transcendental meditations, and it's David Lynch, who was a huge advocate for it, and then also like many actors, Marvel actors, definitely use it. And then it's transcendental meditations. Doesn't take any tools. You can look it up online. It's easy to learn, and it's awesome. It's like breathing technique, and you don't fight the emotions. You just processing, and I think that helps for that transitions. Instead of like, you know, you waking up the mornings, you go into a wall, you're going to take 20 minutes to just like, you woke up and then you're going to sit down, you're going to close your eyes, and then you're going to think about, you know, whatever going to go through your minds, and then you're going to process that. And that helps because I make me recognize that sometimes I go from waking up and straight to the coffee and then go into the wall. And then same when you go home, just like getting that transitions, and then you, maybe it's visualizing when you close your eyes, maybe it's what I didn't identify, but breathing is the best things ever we can do. Is
I'm gonna try that for labor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I saw it. I was the one to say. I didn't want to ask.
Oh yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm not just fat.
I was like,
looks like she has a basketball stuck under her shirt. I have it on my
that's
shirt.
perfect. You're matching.
We're matching. Fish and Nicks.
All right. Well, how do we get in on that bet? Comment and
like, comment, and subscribe.
And add your prediction for Naila's child being born.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on Group Chat. I'm Bentley.
I'm Naila.
I'm Charles.
We'll see you next week.